Did we hear from her?
I'll text them.
It is 6 o'clock, so the work session for mayor and council for September 18th is called to order. Ms. Rainey, can we have the roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor. Roll call for work session meeting September 18th, 2023. Mayor Butler,
Present.
Councilwoman James. Let the record reflect Councilwoman James is not in attendance. Councilman Anton.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's blessed.
Councilman Gutierrez.
I think he was going to join by way of. Okay.
Okay. As of right now, at 6 o'clock, let the record reflect Councilman Gutierrez is not in attendance. Councilwoman Wells.
Here.
Councilman Mears.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you. New business. Council discussion and approval of a resolution terminating the authorization for double time overtime pay for Public Works. Background and history. At the August 7th, 2023 council meeting, the city council temporarily authorized double time pay for the Public Works employees for a period of 90 days to assist with catching up with grass cutting around the city. The city has since caught up with the grass cutting. Accordingly, it has been proposed that the city council now terminate the authorization for double time overtime pay. And Mr. Clark, you.
Yes,
have the
ma'am.
floor.
I'm sorry, Mayor Butler. Mayor and council members, you guys were so gracious to allow us through the end of summer to offer this incentive for our Public Works employees just to ensure that we were able to get our grass cut up. As you know, for those that walked out of the house this morning, it is officially fall, I believe, because it is so chilly in the morning and in the evening. But year to date, we're just asking to cancel this double time pay. As you know, we said we would review this budget in a period of 6 months. And so at such time, we'll evaluate if we need to bring in additional contractors to keep up with the grass. But at this time, we're just asking council's approval to terminate the authorization of the double time pay.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments, Councilman Antoine?
No, sounds
Councilwoman
good.
Wells?
No.
And Councilman Mears?
I think I do have a comment about it.
Sure.
I think it was a good idea. It's a time when we need it and we can bring it back up if we decide to cancel it. I have that tool in our drawer, so we can maybe not get behind again.
All right, thank you.
Mayor Butler?
Yes, sir.
If we bring it back, Mr. Mears, Councilman Mears, I'm sorry. One of the things I can assure you, we'll have some additional provisions as to what the double time is to be used for.
Thank you.
Just to ensure that we're all on the same page.
Sure. Thank you.
Item 2, a review of Chief Chris' first 100 days as police chief. Background and history. Chief Chris assumed his role as a Forest Park Police Chief on May 1st, 2023. He has now completed his first 100 days in office and wishes to offer a concise overview of his initial achievements and activities during this period. And so, Chief, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
So my 100 days has come and gone. I couldn't present a couple of weeks ago due to being a little under the weather, but I'm here to provide a brief and quick overview of some of the accomplishments of the Forest Park Police Department. Yes, sir. And excuse my PowerPoint presentation. I did what I can do. You go to the next one, please. So first thing I did was I looked over our organization. Excuse me one moment. I'm sorry about that. Well, the first thing I did was I looked at the organization and determined that we needed to reorganize our department to enhance our operational efficiency. And so what that did was that deleted some of the positions up top that we did not need and gave a little bit more responsibility on the command staff. And pictured, you'll see the command staff: Major Jones, Captain Whitehead, Captain Owens, Captain McGee, Captain Skelton, and Captain Gant. You go to the next slide, please. Under the previous administration, the comm stats were held once a month. And that was very difficult for anyone to recognize or to observe any type of crime trends that are going around this, that are happening within the city. And so I changed it back to weekly. And since we went weekly, our biggest accomplishment is that we've been able to lower our Part 1 crimes compared to last year by 15%. That's huge. Let me tell you why it's huge. These numbers are reported on a monthly basis to the FBI. And before any businesses come or residents come, they look at the Part 1 crimes for the area. When I took over the police department, crime was up nearly 19% over last year. And I'm glad to say that we are below 5% currently. Next one. And to do so, to get crime under control, I did start some specialized units. Some of the specialized units, as you see on the screen, is our NET team, our neighborhood enhancement team. It is a proactive unit. They are not necessarily responding to your regular alarm calls. Their jobs is to go out and to proactively patrol the streets and deal with any of the problem areas that we may have. As well as I started a traffic unit. This traffic unit was to be out to enforce the traffic laws throughout the city of Forest Park. And with the establishment of our traffic team, we have been able to lower our accidents by over 15% since they've been in service. Next, please. The other thing is we started a narcotics unit. This is one of our most recent drug busts. Looking at the picture, you would be like, this looks like a bunch of candy. That's not candy. It's fentanyl, which is extremely dangerous. There's some drugs laced with meth, a large amount of marijuana, a assault rifle, handgun, and I want to say the street value of that is approximately almost $20,000. Go to the next one, please. This is one of the traffic details that the officers were out on to address some of the issues that are related with traffic enforcement. So one thing that research has shown that a visible officer or officers out enforcing traffic laws, criminals are less likely to commit criminal offenses because they see officers around. Next one. And we started our narcotics tip line. So if you have any narcotic complaints, please give us a call at that telephone number so we can address it. 470-826-4997. Another unit we established is our honor guard. The honor guard will be out and they will attend certain events such as funerals. And we utilized our honor guard or color guard with our 9/11 ceremony that we partnered with the fire department on. I guess my time is up. I hope I'm not talking too much. But this is just 3 of our officers. As of right now, we have grown our honor guard unit to 6 officers. And these officers, like I said, will attend very special ceremonies throughout the state of Georgia. All right. Also, during these first 100 days, we had an opportunity to rebrand the agency. As you see pictured is our some of our new patrol vehicles. The blue vehicles you'll see being driven by lieutenants, and our silver vehicles, which are driven by the officers, as well as our new graphics and logos. Hope you guys like. And that is our new patch and our new core values, our service, integrity, and respect. To help boost morale within the agency, we had very low morale upon me going into the police department. And one thing I implement is Officer of the Month. And upon doing so, I have seen an increase in productivity within all of our officers within the agency. Officer Pope was our first officer to receive Officer of the Month. And since then, we have expanded it from Officer of the Month to Employee of the Month, and our special operations of the month. So we do 3 awards per month, every month. Next. And for community engagement, I brought back conversations and coffee with the chief. The very first event that we had was held at the Chick-fil-A, which we had a great turnout through the community. And then here most recently, we had one on September the 12th at Racetrack. And this is an opportunity for the citizens to give us feedback on the services in which we are providing. Next, please. And then we got our Citizens Police Academy going. Great turnout. And from the feedback from the Citizens Police Academy, is this the best police academy yet?
Right.
All right. During the Citizens Police Academy, our citizens were able to touch a range of different topics, from criminal procedures to shoot and don't shoot scenarios. And the citizens actually got an opportunity to see the life of a police officer and the very difficult job that we have. Next one, please. They went out to the gun range. I'm sorry. Let me back up. This is our employee gun safety course. This is the very first course that we have ever put on, and I don't know if there are any other agencies that put on a gun safety course for their employees. I understand the importance of gun safety, and many people lose their lives to improper handling of weapons. So I thought it was a need to host one for our employees, which we had a great turnout. We had 2 sessions, and they received one-on-one training on how to handle a weapon. And we've created several partnerships throughout the state of Georgia. And some of those partnerships was with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office. And what we partner with them on is the cleanup of Cash Memorial Boulevard. So every 2 weeks, the Clayton County Sheriff's Office and their inmate workers, they come out and they walk down Cash Memorial Boulevard, and they are cleaning up all the litter that is left by those vehicles that are going to the transfer station. We also partner with the Department of Revenue. And I'm not sure how long it's been since it has occurred in the city of Forest Park. But this partnership with the Department of Revenue, we sent an underage kid into several businesses throughout Forest Park to see if those kids were able to buy cigarettes and alcohol. And unfortunately, some businesses failed and they were issued a citation. But it's just one additional way that we're trying to keep our community safe and clean. Next one, please. And one more click. And since being the police chief of Forest Park, I've been able to hire 30 people to the Forest and have added to the Forest Park family. All of these officers that have been hired come with a wealth of knowledge and experience. Some from detectives to narcotics to let me see who else is up there, to instructors. And so this is going to help us push this agency forward and be the best in the state. Next, please. And those are just a few of my accomplishments. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but I'm open to any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Councilman Antoine.
Just thank you, Chief. I know for this community, we've been looking for somebody that could protect and serve. And you as a man, if you took that badge off, you'll still be, a good man. So this title is just a title for you. So I respect everything that you do. Thank you for your honor. Thank you for your service that you have for this community. May God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wells.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, Chief. I think these are all great things that we aren't used to in the city of Forest Park. And I just think you bring so much expertise in community policing. And that's what I love. So I appreciate you in the police department. I'm wearing blue for y'all. I don't know who she's wearing blue.
I'll have it on first. Councilman
you.
Mears.
Yes, sir. I also want to thank you, sir. I think you're doing a wonderful job. And I've always said that if you get tough on crime goes away. And I think that you got a handle on it and you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, sir.
And I echo the sentiments of my colleagues. I've heard nothing but great things about what's going on in the police department. So thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3, COVID update. With the ongoing conversation relative to an uptick in COVID cases, members of the Forest Park Fire Department have been requested to provide an update to the governing body. Hello, sir.
Good evening. How is everybody doing?
Bless
Well,
you.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's been a while. It's been a while. So the COVID update's going to be a little bit different. Back before, we were actually able to get specific city information. And since we've kind of ended the pandemic and gone into an endemic phase, it's more county oriented and it's not broken down and researched as far as the city goes. So I'm going to give you some broad numbers here, but after we did have an outbreak of COVID-19 statewide in late August, numbers are continuing to decrease statewide, and Clayton County still shows a low risk of transmission according to the CDC as of today. Clayton County did begin shutting down some of their COVID resources and removing them to other areas that were of higher risks about mid-July, as the cases continued to decrease in the Atlanta metro area, and the county remained in the low risk, low transmission category. The increase that we saw in July, August area is likely a combination of the new COVID variant that's out, the people around not prioritizing prevention measures, more summer travel plans, and people in large gatherings, and some waning of immunity that was vaccination provided by people that were sick with the disease. The new variant is called EG5, which has been nicknamed Eris by the CDC. It is the dominant COVID variant spreading in the United States right now and is responsible for approximately 17% of new COVID cases in the country and about 16% of new COVID cases in Georgia. Early data indicates that Eris may be more easily transmissible than some of the other previous variants, but it does not appear to cause any more serious or severe disease. The CDC says the current COVID vaccine is effective against Eris, and Eris infections are picked up on COVID testing. Caucasian populations still show the primarily infected population, followed by African Americans, Hispanics, and then Asian populations, with infection showing 55% in females and 45% in males. The CDC continues to encourage and recommend vaccination and boosters for the COVID-19 as the primary defense against infection. In addition to staying up to date on vaccinations, getting tested if you have symptoms is also recommended. Although many test sites have been relocated and or shut down, tests can still be located through pharmacies, primary care physicians, and urgent cares throughout the state of Georgia. You can also find specific information about vaccine recommendations by age at the cdc.gov website, as well as you can schedule a vaccine through the GTA VRAS website, both of which are provided on the fire department's website, which is www.forestparkga.gov/fire/COVID-19. Basic prevention measures should be followed to help prevent further spread of COVID and mitigate outbreaks of infection. Of course, always cover your coughs, sneezing into your elbow, throwing away used tissues, washing your hands frequently with soap and water, and staying home if you are sick are the primary recommendations. Wearing masks can also help in preventing the spread of diseases in some cases and does show slight effectiveness when in large crowds with COVID-19. It is important to stay informed about COVID-19 to be sure you get your information from reliable sources, such as the Department of Public Health through the dph.georgia.gov website, as well as the CDC with cdc.gov/coronavirus. And also the Department of Public Health is continuing to closely monitor the COVID data and provide updates as needed.
Thank you so much,
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Antoine.
Thank you for that information. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I,
sir.
I was the one that requested it. Thank you for.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Yep. I know that some of our resources have been shut down close to the city, but most of your home testing is still available at most local pharmacies as well as the urgent cares close by.
Yeah, I figured that something's coming up, so why not give an update? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Wells.
Thank you so much. And
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
always a pleasure to see you.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think that's why we wanted you, because we didn't see you.
Everybody missed me. I know I didn't get the mustache comment tonight. Councilman Gutierrez, no mustache. comment.
Thank you for that report, sir.
Absolutely, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Butler.
And so we do have executive session, and so I'm going to ask for a motion to recess and enter into executive session for personnel, litigation, real estate, and legal matters.
So
That
moved.
was Councilman Antoine. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Wells. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We shall return.
See that which way we turn.
Every way, I'm telling you.
All right. Now, Ms. Rainey, can you let the record reflect that Councilwoman James did come in at 6:21?
I sure will.
And I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn the executive session and reconvene into our work session.
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Wells. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Now, is there a motion to adjourn the executive session?
So move,
I'm sorry, the work session.
so move.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Wells. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. So it is 7:06. And the regular session for mayor and council for September 18th is called to order. Okay, let me see. Okay, I was trying to see who's doing the invocation tonight. And so I'm not seeing anyone from
Mayor
the,
Butler.
Hmm?
Mayor Butler.
yes, I'm looking. For someone. All right,
Butler.
Councilman Mears, would you like to do the invocation tonight?
Well, if you want me to.
All right, so all those who are able to stand, please do so. Remain standing throughout the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, we come to you today, thanking you for this day and another life. We thank you for this beautiful weather. We thank you for our health. We thank you for this wonderful city. Bless this council and keep us straight. Help us to look after every citizen and every interest that comes to the city. All these things we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
David, what was you looking at right now?
Roll call, please.
Roll call for regular meeting, September 18th, 2023. Mayor Butler,
Present.
Councilwoman James,
Present.
Councilman Anton,
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's blessed.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Present. Hello, everybody.
Let the record reflect Councilman Gutierrez is on a Zoom call. Councilwoman Wells,
Here.
Councilman Mears,
Here.
Mayor Butler, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Mr. Clark, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, ma'am, Mayor Butler. At the appropriate time, we would like to amend the agenda tonight. We have an emergency add-on item. I'll sound it whenever you would like, Mayor Butler.
I'm ready.
All right, so that emergency line item is a budget amendment in the amount of $3.2 million due to a review of our budget. These are additional revenues that we have coming into the new fiscal year 23-24 budget. It would take our budget from $38 million to $41.9 million.
And this is the approval of the budget amendment of 3.2 million.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Booklet.
All right, Mayor Butler, we're excited about the city manager's report for this month. As you know, we now only issue the city manager's report one time a month because we know how much you guys enjoyed the various pages that we put out through this report. For starters, just to highlight a few things with them. This administration's first 100 days. Again, we recovered over $600,000 in delinquent taxes. We unveiled a new city app called One Click. It is already on the Android store. All right, we unveiled the One Click app. It is already on the Apple Store. In addition, on today, our Public Information Office distributed the information on the One Light initiative, which is a collaborative effort with Georgia Power to repair 1,900 light fixtures throughout the city, as well as we will highlight in this report some of the capital projects that we have underway. Next slide, please. In addition to that, the city manager's offices, through our public information officer, we started issuing a weekly update just to let the governing body know, as well as our community, what is going on throughout their city. Next, we'd like to highlight some of our capital projects. We're happy to have with us here tonight, just so that the public will know who he is. With the beautiful picture, Mr. James Shelby, our capital projects manager. Mr. Shelby, if you would, please stand and be recognized. We are really excited about the capital projects update. As you know, Main Streetscape Phase 2 is complete. We're simply waiting on the removal of the wooden post. Star Park, that project is on hold. Again, we are merging that into the plans for the new city center. The Gillum Public Safety Building, the construction on that site is complete. We are still working on some final punch list items. At such time, we are anticipating a closeout report any day now, so we can share with the council financial impacts of that project. The City of Forest Park welcome signs, for those that have not seen, they have been deployed. It is right there to the left side of the screens, one of the designs that we have. We will have landscaping coming around these signs. The signage down on Forest Parkway or Jonesboro Road, we know we have to move some of those just based upon some shelters being placed after we did this project, as well as ensuring that all of the signs are within the corporate city limits of Forest Park. Fire Station number 1, this project is on hold. Our fire department, under the leadership of Chief Clemens, as well as Deputy Chief Halcomb, they're working on doing a study just to ensure that wherever this new station goes, that we still have sufficient coverage around the city. As you know, City Center project was moved from Forest Park. We were working on the schematic drawings for it to come downtown at Star Park. Forest Park landscaping, the RFP is on the street. Again, this is landscaping for the medians all the way up Forest Park. We want people to know when you enter our corporate city limits. Those bids are due October 12th, 2023, as well as we're still working on finalizing the renovation of the old Rite Aid building on Forest Parkway for that proposed business incubator. Again, council, as you know, and duly approved, Clayton County approved some of the funding to help get this project started. Next slide, please. Our Office of the City Clerk, our new city clerk, Ms. Randy Rainey, has now been with us 2 to 3 weeks. For the month of August, we received approximately 351 open records requests. In addition to that, our clerk served at both of our work sessions and council meetings. Moving on to the Office of Recreation and Leisure under the leadership of Director Maxwell. We're excited tonight to release the new brand for the Recreation and Leisure Services. Mr. Maxwell, I'm not sure how you want to do that, if you want to come up to the podium so that we can show our public what we're doing to really broadcast the great things that are happening within our city. Mr. Maxwell.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. How's everybody doing tonight? City Manager Clark have brought on some great initiatives, and one is the rebranding of some of the departments within the city. And he already put up, but these are some of the new logos for the Recreation and Leisure Service Department. I like this one, and I'm gonna give you a little background on it. We're looking at it more like the Apple or Nike brand, where when you see the Apple, you know what it is, or you see the Nike check, you don't even have to say Nike, you know what it is. So this would pretty much serve as our Recreation and Leisure Service brand. But we have a few more. This also will serve as the City of Forest Park with Recreation and Leisure Services up under it. So you still got the great City of Forest Park with our department name. And also another, once again, it's just different styles that we could use it for. Y'all know me, I'm always bringing goodies, man. I have you guys some shirts.
Yeah, go ahead, leave my stuff there, Tyreek. I'll get that when I get back.
Oh. Well, can we get the right size? We want to wear them.
Black one or the red one?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, darling. Oh, you want the red one? You can have the red. You can have the red one, sugar.
Mr. Clark, you wear small, don't you?
I don't wear short sleeve shirts.
I'll leave it on this chair.
Like me, that's how I was when I first got up here.
All right, Mr. Maxwell, I'm on a tight time limit. Since you didn't bring me a shirt, I'll keep going with my presentation.
That's pretty much.
Yeah.
Rebranding. You want to go to the next?
Yes, sir. The other thing we are happy to announce tonight is our sassy seniors. Mr. Tariq.
Well, we have some of them in the audience tonight if they want to come on up. These ladies went to Farsight this Saturday and performed in the talent showcase for seniors. And they did an amazing job representing the city. They came in second place in the dance competition. And they won first place overall spirit. They had some amazing energy. Give it up for these ladies. They did a great job. It was the first time that they held the competition, and I think all seniors went up there and represent the city of Forest Park the best way they could. So we want to appreciate y'all so much. Y'all can also check them out. They perform at most of the tailgates. So y'all come out. Most of the festivals they perform. First tailgate this Sunday. So y'all make sure y'all come out. Our Falcons 2-0 versus Detroit Lions. So y'all make sure y'all come out this Sunday.
Can they do something?
Yeah, where the DJ at?
Yeah. Let's show them. Let's show them.
Hey, that's why I say y'all gotta come out to the tailgates.
No, everybody ain't gonna come to the tailgate. Can we find some music for them? Y'all gotta see it. It's a beautiful thing.
They could close us out.
Oh, no, that's all.
No, they gotta stay to read so they can do it at the end.
Oh, okay, they're gonna get a picture at the end.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
He said a picture. No, we want to.
She was there. All right, moving on. Thank you, Mr. Tariq and Recreation and Leisure Service, as well as our great seniors. Moving on to our Information Technology Department. Through the efforts of Director Josh Cox, he had 302 tickets open for the month, of which 300 were closed. The two that are remaining are in the executive offices as it relates to internet. For our Public Information Office, some of our notable events with our PIO, Mr. Javon Lord. Of course, we brought on a new multimedia specialist, Mr. Kwame Amaluro Marshall. We're excited to announce that through all of the efforts, all of the press, we were able to get 2 stories on Fox 5, 1 story on 11 Alive News, 2 stories on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, 1 story on Home Rule News, another story on WSB TV, and another news story on Atlanta News First. Needless to say, Forest Park is global. Due to the efforts of our code enforcement office, we have several different block parties. We've conducted 2 so far, one within Councilwoman Wells Ward, as well as another in Mr. Mears. And what we're finding is every time the events grow larger and larger. Attached to this report for your review, you can look at the different code violations by ward. Moving on, Mayor Butler and council members, to our Office of Human Resources under the directorship of Ms. Shalonda Brown. Through the month of August, they worked with ADP just to finalize everything with our recruitment model, as well as we are continuing to collect the data from GMA relative to the city being able to start its first true pension plan. We hope to bring that before you, Mayor and Council, sometime in November. Again, as I previously stated, we've gone through sexual harassment as well as workplace harassment training classes for all city staff. And I believe we have 99% of employees that actually have gone through that training. I think we're only missing 1. Attached with this report, you'll find those positions that we still have vacant within our Office of Human Resources for our municipal court under the directorship of Mr. Cedric McCain. For the month of August, we had a total of 769 tickets with 207 dispositions. We collected over $6,000, and we're continuing to advertise for both the Clerk 1 and Clerk 2 positions for municipal court. And our police department, as Chief Chris eloquently stated, our crime is down. For the month of August, we had roughly 279 traffic stops, leading to 215 citations, 44 warnings, and 2 arrests for the month of August. For the Office of Finance, just for the period of August, we were able to collect over $84,000 for our business licenses, as well as $29,000 for sanitation revenue. Council, you'll remember an effort that we had based upon this revenue recovery to collect back taxes back to 1979. For the month of August alone, we were able to collect over $201,000. And this is just for individuals that have not paid their property taxes within the city of Forest Park, 95% of them being absentee property owners. For our fire department, under the leadership of Chief Clemens, some of their notable events included the fire extinguisher training on August 24th, as well as they participated in the Clayton County Back to School Bash and Forest Park Day on August 19th of 2023. For the month of August, they had a total of 56 inspections, as well as a total of 1 inspection on a private dwelling. 232 patients were treated, as well as 122 patients refused our services. In the Office of Public Works, under the leadership of Director Jenks, we had a total of 15 days using the street sweeper, as well as servicing 169 curb miles. Spent 37 hours cutting trees, as well as 47 hours with debris removal. We have various positions open within the offices of public work. I am told that 7 of those positions, additional conditional offers, have been offered so that we can work to get that position 100% staffed. As we know, that is the goal of this legislative body as we work to ensure that our city is the cleanest. For our building, Planning and Community Development Department, under the leadership of Director Gardner, in the month of August, 9 residential permits were issued, as well as 9 commercial permits were issued. Some of the building plans that were submitted include some different commercial spaces, as well as some additional residential uses such as a carport, etc. In addition, our Planning and Community Development Department responded to approximately 15 zoning inquiries, 11 sign permits, and 30 trade permits were issued. Moving on to our Office of Economic Development, we're happy to welcome aboard Rochelle Dennis, who will serve as our project manager for the Office of Economic Development. And so the door for economic development, in the words of Director Gart and the words of Director Abraham, have been constantly open for the month of August. We are touring more and more developers around the city, and we're excited to bring to this governing body sometime in the month of October or November a very exciting project for this municipality. We're working on some final permitting items as it relates to the submittal, but we look forward to being able to announce this. I know that there was some inquiries about some of the remaining facade grants that were issued. We're happy to report that Class 6 Boutique will also become a recipient of those funding opportunities for the facade improvements. And we met with them on last week just to finalize what those improvements look like there on Main Street. And finally, for the last portion, since we highlight all of the efforts of our executive offices, we'd be remiss if we did not highlight some of the efforts of some of our legislative body and our governing body members. And this part of the city manager's report is entitled Forest Park Council Members Have Talent. So first, we'd like to.
Oh my God, I know you telling the story.
So first, for the first video that we will play, and this just goes to show our attempt of just keeping our community together and not just spearheading and highlighting the efforts of our employees, but also the great talent that is amongst those on this dais.
I hope you show yours too. Oh man, this is gonna be Hector.
And so the first one we'll show will be the first one. So on this one, as you know, Councilman Gutierrez hosts his Fun Fridays every Friday.
God.
And so this just goes to show some of the amazing participation of our local governing body members.
Which one's the bull?
Councilman Gutierrez is a great sport, and the event was well attended. In addition to that, as we close out and recognize those for the month of August and September, we would like to serenade them with a beautiful happy birthday from Councilwoman Wells. And this was performed at Fun Fridays, just held this Friday. And again, this is the edition of Forest Park Council Members Have Talent.
Is he crying? said it.
Mayor Butler, that concludes my city manager's report.
Oh my gosh, like my side hurts. Okay. Excellent, excellent. Item 1, under presentations, is our sickle cell awareness presentation. Whew. That image of like Hector on that bull. Background and history, sickle cell awareness presentation by Mapilar Don. Mapilar, okay. Sorry, founder and CEO of the MTS Sickle Cell Foundation. And ma'am, you have the floor.
I will do my best to follow up on those renditions and dances. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Mapilar Don, and I must say I'm very grateful for this opportunity to present on a cause that is very near and dear to my heart. Sickle cell disease. Well, first of all, September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And sickle cell disease affects over 20 million people around the world. However, it doesn't get the amount of funding, awareness, support that is really needed to eradicate this disease. So whenever we have a platform such as yours to shine as much light as we can on this disease, it means a lot to me personally, but I'm sure for the global community, it means the world. So thank you. Next slide. Not gonna read that, but as I said, millions are impacted by sickle cell disease. I am impacted as well. I do not have sickle cell disease, but my 3 daughters do. So this is why I go as hard as I do for sickle cell awareness. I am the founder and CEO of the MTS Sickle Cell Foundation. And this is an organization that is dedicated to raising awareness, support, and sensitivity surrounding sickle cell disease. I will speak a little more about my organization at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. Okay. This is a very complex disease. I often use the term comprehensive because it affects every aspect of a person's life. But at the end of this presentation, it's truly my hope that you will know what sickle cell disease is, how it affects a person, how it's managed, what you can do to support the sickle cell community. And as I said, I will talk a little more about my organization. Next slide. So what is sickle cell disease? I feel like all of us have heard the term, but what does it truly mean when a person has sickle cell disease? First of all, it is a genetic blood disorder. A person with this condition basically produces abnormal hemoglobin. And if we're going to go back to science class, hemoglobin is that protein in your blood that's responsible for carrying oxygen from your lungs to the different tissues and organs in your body. As you can see, the figure to your left, so illustration A, you have round, flexible red blood cells. That's how red blood cells should be. And when they're round and flexible, they're able to move freely in the vessel. However, for someone who has sickle cell disease, that process is challenged. Their hemoglobin, their red blood cells become deformed. They take the shape of a banana, a crescent, if you will, even a sickle. That's how it gets its name. And so that process is challenged. The process of taking blood from the lungs to the different organs, when sickle cell patients have crises, that means that, there's blockage in the blood vessels going from, going to different parts of the body. And a lot of times they'll have pain crises. That's one of the hallmarks. A lot of people know sickle cell patients to have a lot of pain, but it affects different parts of the body, which we will talk about later. When a person has sickle cell disease, they basically have inherited 2 abnormal hemoglobin from each parent. So in order for a child to have sickle cell disease, it would have came from both parents, never just one side of the family. In the United States, about 100,000 people are impacted by sickle cell disease. predominantly people of African descent. However, I do want to say that it is not a Black disease. Just in this country, it's predominantly African Americans or Black people that have sickle cell disease, where you have Mediterranean people from the Mediterranean who have sickle cell, people from India, people from, like I said, the Middle East, you see Turkey, Greece. So sickle cell is all over the world. Like I said, over 20 million people. Next slide, please. We can go on to the next. I wanted to just give some scenarios of how a child inherits this disease. So when you have sickle cell disease, that means in this case, you have two parents with the trait. When you have the trait, that means that you inherited just one abnormal hemoglobin from a parent. So you have one normal gene and one sickle gene. And many of us, Black and African Americans, actually 1 in 13 of us have the trait. So a lot of us have the trait, and it's really important that we understand if we have the trait and what that means. So if two people have the trait, with every pregnancy, there is a 25% chance that that child could be born with sickle cell disease. There's a 25% chance that that child could be completely unaffected. That means they got two normal genes passed down. And there's a 50% chance with every pregnancy that that baby will have the trait and now become a carrier. Another scenario that I wanted to talk about, next slide. If one parent has the sickle cell disease and one parent has, basically is unaffected, with every pregnancy, all of the children will have the sickle cell trait, because with every pregnancy, the child is going to inherit that sickle gene from the parent who has the disease and a normal gene from the parent who is unaffected. The last scenario I will go over is if one parent has the sickle cell disease and one parent has the sickle cell trait, with every pregnancy, there's a 50% chance that that baby will have the trait or the disease. Next slide, please. Just some more stats, as I said, 1 in 13 Black or African Americans in this country have the disease. So 1 in 365 Black or African American child is born with sickle cell disease. This number used to be high as far as maybe even 5 years ago. It was 1 in 500, but it is steadily decreased. More and more kids are being born with sickle cell, and that's because of the lack of education. Second to Black people in this country are Hispanics. 1 in 16,300 Hispanic births are an outcome of sickle cell disease. Next slide, please. So how does sickle cell disease affect a person? As I said earlier, it affects everyone differently. And we get to see that in my household. I have 3 daughters, as I said. One is 19, one is 18. The oldest 2 are in college, trying to live their best lives, but sickle cell always comes in the way. So for my oldest daughter, she is the only of my 3 children who has pain crises, which is pretty unheard of. But for her, when she has a pain crisis, I have to take her to the ER to get some really hard narcotics. This has been happening since she was a baby. And that almost always she has an acute chest syndrome. That's where there's blockage of blood in the lungs. And so, respiratory has to come in and do their part to make sure that she's all good. She just had her hip replaced. This is a 19-year-old. Sickle cell is a very brutal disease. For a 19-year-old to have her hip replaced, this is something typically older people have done when you have to have ligaments are replaced. But that was an effect of sickle cell disease. She got avascular necrosis due to the disease. My middle daughter, when she was in the 2nd grade, she had a stroke. Sickle cell disease is the leading cause of stroke in children. So as a result of that, children in this country at the age of 2 they start screening them to see if they're at higher risk of having a stroke, and if they are, they start blood transfusions. I will talk about blood transfusions later because sickle cell patients really rely on blood transfusions, a lot of them, to lead as normal a life as possible. However, we don't have a lot of people donating blood. We don't have a lot of Black people donating blood. So it's really important that we diversify the blood supply for people like people who have sickle cell disease and other conditions that require chronic blood transfusions. There are so many different complications. As I said, sickle cell affects everyone differently. Because of the stroke factor, you will find that some kids may struggle in school because they have neurocognitive issues. Oftentimes those are not detected because people are looking for pain, but not everyone's issues with sickle cell is pain. It is an overall condition. Everywhere that blood flows, sickle cell affects. Next slide, please. How is sickle cell managed? I would say I started my organization close to 8 years ago. And when we started, it was just one drug on the market. This drug it was a repurposed drug. It was actually originally made for cancer, but it was repurposed. And for a decade, that was the only drug on the market for sickle cell, for a condition that affects over 20 million people around the world. Well, through a lot of advocacy from a lot of people, we now have about 4 drugs on the market for sickle cell. And so the kind of care that is needed to manage sickle cell, it's important that people with this disease are seen regularly by their care team, which consists of a hematology for the most part, and then other specialties. Because again, it is a very comprehensive disease. It affects every part of the person's body. It's important that they have healthy diets, get enough rest. I wish I could tell these kids that a lot, because go to sleep, get some rest, but it's really important that they're rested and they have a healthy diet and they're hydrated. It's important that they're hydrated to help the blood flow easier in their vessels. Pain management. People with sickle cell disease are given really, really hard narcotics from very early on. And sadly, what happens is when they transition over to adult care, that tends to, they're stigmatized because they've gotten used to hard narcotics. And so when they go in trying to get relief from pain that sometimes is undescribable, a lot of people just don't know much about sickle cell, including medical professionals. So sickle cell patients are stigmatized a lot in the healthcare system when they go in to seek care. I mentioned chronic blood transfusion. A lot of sickle cell patients receive chronic blood transfusions. For my daughters, it is to prevent strokes. However, for others, I'm sorry, were you gonna ask me a question? I'm sorry, okay. For some, it is to prevent a stroke. For others, it is to lessen the odds of them having pain crises. Next slide, please. How can you support those with sickle cell disease? Sickle cell disease, especially for the adult population, is a very lonely disease, especially if you're one of those patients who is in and out of the hospital a lot. Friends and families tend to think, oh, you're at the hospital again. It becomes one of those things where nobody visits you. So if you know anyone with sickle cell disease, especially if they're an adult, please reach out, if only just to check on them. As I said before, I cannot stress this enough, donate blood. So many people with sickle cell disease rely on chronic blood transfusions. September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Please share facts about sickle cell with people on your social media, with your friends, your families. Again, 1 in 13 Black or African Americans have the sickle cell trait, and it's really important that we know if we carry the trait so that we can, be able to make the proper decisions about our lives. Lastly, please support organizations who are on the front line, who are in the trenches, doing what we can to support people living with sickle cell disease. My organization, we help families with scholarships. I give out 10 academic scholarships a year to scholars who are impacted by sickle cell disease. We do events for families. Everything that we do is completely free. I send care packages all over this country. I come everywhere I'm requested to speak. I travel. So whatever you guys can do in your individual capacities to help those living with sickle cell disease, we would truly appreciate it. Next slide, please. I think I went over there. But that is information about my organization, the MTS Sickle Cell Foundation. Those are my 3 girls. They were so young at that time, but they're older now. Next, I would really like to bring up Dr. Falami, because she has been here in Forest Park, just hitting the pavement, meeting so many of you, speaking on sickle cell disease. And thanks to all of you for your support, your tremendous support. But I would like her to come up and say thank you to the community as well.
Thank you, COE, Appella Don. I would just like to thank the City of Forest Park for a great engagement with us, starting with our Chief of Fire, Chief Clemens, and Deputy Chief, and to each department head has really wrapped their arms around me during these trying times with this. The way I became a part of this were that I was actually coaching across the street, the youth volleyball team. And this particular scholar wanted to play. And she informed me that she had sickle cell. And I had no idea how to deal with that, because we are physical, we run, we do suicide, and I didn't want to dehydrate this baby. So I decided to just have her to come in to be assistant coach to me, just to let her be a part. However, during the middle of the season, she had a pain crisis. So we set her out from us, but we also had a banquet down at the Spiry Lake, and we honor her for her having the courage to want to continue to play her sports. And my motto with the youth is to play your game, not your pain. And believe it or not, my thing is prayer. I really believe in prayer. And it works. We work around the globe. We work around the clock. It's numerous a night that we are not asleep. We are on the phone with families, coming to the aid of someone who a physician does not understand what this crisis look like, and think they are coming from the community from some type of hard drugs and need a fix. But it's the type of meds they need in order to soothe their chronic pain at this time. I want to let the City of Forest Park know that you all have at least 35 to 40% of employees that has the trach or has sickle cell. And during the health fair that I actually hosted along with them, I discovered that. That's why I started running the race, beating the ground very hard in Forest Park, because the subordinator was telling me, I am very affected by this. I am greatly appreciative that you are taking and valuing your opinion. Valuing your voice about it. So we are an international foundation. It's no time limit that you can't call us and we can't come to the aid. And you heard from the COE that she has 3 daughters that has this. But again, we have to do a blood drive. We have to bring awareness to our community. This is not a Black thing anymore. It's everybody thing. We even moving over into the Hispanic, like next week, I believe, madam. So it's just a disease that has to be tackled to go for a cure. So I'm going to yield back to you, CO, and I greatly appreciate it. And as you see, I do have my granddaughters with me, and they actually walk the street with me to advocate. Amina, Amaya, would y'all stand up, please? These young girls here goes over to the Scrana in West End, and they go to their church and speak on it. So we are well received. I'm grateful for my family, because during the time that I became a part of MTS, just to want to do something for a scholar, because that's what my heart is. I'm a country girl, and we believe in serving. We believe in giving. We believe in cooking. We definitely believe in prayer. So that's where I came in. And when I got the message to become the ambassador, I took it with pride. And it's not a day or two. You all don't see me with something say sickle cell, because it's dear value. And the reason is my testimony that when I met Miss Don's daughter, I didn't meet Miss Don. I met her daughter who wanted to play volleyball with us. I'm cutting it off, but I got to get this out, Madam Chair. And at that time, I had lost my mother. I lost my sister. I lost my brother all in the same month. I lost my sister on the 8th, my brother on the 9th, and my mother around the 12th or the 13th. So I needed something to comfort, to not grieve, not to eat up. And I heard a voice from heaven say, rise up and go advocate for this cause. So I want to thank you for inviting me up in such a time of my need to give me the strength to carry on. And I salute you. Don't give up, because the fight is out. We'll get a cure. God bless you all for hearing.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you so
presentation.
much.
Councilwoman James, any questions or comments? Councilman Antoine?
Yes, I'm sold. I'm sold. Just leave your business card. I was actually looking to do an event in my district, maybe with my seniors. And I'll probably work with the city manager to see if we could have you come. Like, this information is just not just for Forest Park. I'm from another country, and you got kids that don't have that know their birthdays, let alone know what their condition of sickle cell is. And if
From Liberia, and we have a large sickle cell population. However, the healthcare system is very lacking. There are many people who don't know their status. There are many people who have the disease that don't know that they have the disease. So I understand.
So maybe one day when the country's not too dangerous, you could come to my country and inform and educate.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'm definitely so, yeah, Bible is true. People die because of lack of knowledge. And as educated, tomorrow I'm gonna start educating my students to go get checked up for sickle cell. God
Thank
bless you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Councilwoman Wells?
Yes, I would just like to say thank you, because I had no idea what sickle cell, exactly what it was. And I had a cousin to pass away last year, that had sickle cell. So thank you for the information. And my prayers to you, being a mom with 3 daughters with that disease. Thank you so much. And, if it is something that we're doing in the city, I think more people need to be aware of the disease. And so myself as well, I may be asking you to come and inform the community as well. So thank you.
So sorry for your loss.
Councilman Mears?
I also want to thank you for that presentation. It was very educational to learn how that affects your body and everything, and appreciate you.
Thank you.
Councilman Gutierrez, is there anything you would like to say?
Yes, there's a lot that I would like to say. Thank you, Mayor, for remembering when you're council members. I just want to thank the organization and Dr. Falami for coming up. It's crazy because I'm over here, but I can't see her, and I was going to tell her you should talk to Dr. Falami because she's always wearing sickle cell shirts, supporting the organization and advocating for them. So I'm glad that they're connected. And please, ma'am, any events that you see that we're hosting in Forest Park, please, feel free to come out and table at no cost and let us know how we can further just promote the mission and educate our community.
Will do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I, like my colleagues, learned so much. I do have a girlfriend whose son suffers from sickle cell, and so I know about the chronic pain. And for him to be so young, it just, every chance we get, we're at the hospital just cheering him on and supporting him. And it impacts everybody. And I thank you for sharing that information. And as Councilman Gutierrez and some of the other colleagues stated, whatever we can do to help the initiative. Actually, I just slipped my city manager a note about hosting a blood drive, not just doing a one-off, but regularly, just to help in that effort. So you have our support. So anything that we can do, we're here for you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Item 2, yes. Future Firefighter Girls Camp. Background and history. The Forest Park Fire and EMS will host a Future Firefighter Girls Camp on Wednesday, October 11th, 2023 at the Gillum Public Safety Building, 2029 Anvil Block Road. This free event will be for female youth ages 12 to 17 who are interested in exploring a future career in fire services. This camp will give young females a glimpse of the ins and outs of what it takes to become a certified firefighter. The one-day program will be led by successful female fire professionals and cover a variety of topics. Slots are limited and will be selected on a first come, first served basis, and applications are available online.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council.
Chief.
Yes, we're going to be hosting the very first all-girls fire camp on October 11th from 9 to 6 p.m. At the new Public Safety Complex. We've already closed out the application last Friday, the 15th. I checked today and I believe I have more than 35 applications. So I have to sift through those applications to ensure that everybody completed the forms and things of that nature. But, you know, there are more than 1 million career and volunteer firefighters throughout the United States, 6,200 of those being women firefighters. Women has been in the fire service for more than 200 years, but we still represent less than 4%. So again, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So it's my job, it's my obligation to give them something that they can strive to be in less than that or in leadership roles. So it's my job to make that happen. And we're going to do that for the very first time here in Forest Park.
Excellent.
Any questions?
Yeah. Councilwoman James.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Antoine.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Wells.
Phenomenal. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Councilman Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Appreciate you.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Councilman Gutierrez. Okay, well, thank you. All right, our public comments. 1, 2, 3, 6. All right, Ms. Franklin. You have the floor, ma'am. And per our charter, 3 minutes is allotted per speaker.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
My name is Carolyn Franklin. I live at 691 Lookout Drive, Forest Park. My complaint today is my neighborhood. I've talked to several people here about it, and I'm really up to here. The house across the street from me is a rooming house. The cars parked where I can't hardly get in and out of my driveway. The dumpsters sit on the street, have been on the street for the past 6 months. They put trash on beside the dumpsters instead of in them. I'm so sick of going out, walking out of my door and looking at this junk across the street. The house next to it, there's a mattress at the end of the yard, and it has been there for the past 2 months. I've complained about it. Nobody's gotten it. So I would like to see something done about this and to clean up Lookout Drive, please.
Yes, ma'am. I'll forward it to Mr. Walker, our code enforcement officer,
Okay,
our director.
thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Falami.
Right, I returned back. I just wanted to come back because I knew I had just only a few moments, but I invited some colleagues here to support the MTS sickle cell today. Ms. Rosa Scans from the Homeless Prevention. Ms. Barbara is from the Atlanta Regionals. My daughter-in-law, Nzingo Falami, it's a lot of us, my son, grandson, Melalit Taylor Falami, and myself, Dr. Falami. I wanted to thank everyone because, again, sickle cell is a very, very serious problem. We are drove for a solution. And I have these 2 young scholars behind me who keep me on my A game when it comes to this disease, because they ask a lot of questions, and they ask questions, how could it affect them? Not only do they ask those type of questions, but they also, could we pray for those 3 little girls? So last week, we had someone to sponsor the Warriors to go to the Fox to see Power Patrol. And my granddaughter first got to see one of the sisters, and she just got so shy. And I said, there she is. But the story is, it's alignment, because my daughter-in-law gave me blankets, and I don't need blankets. My granddaughter said, Graham, let's give it to the young girls who had sickle cell because they be so cold. So that blessed my heart. And another colleague bought me a bath and towels and things like that, fluffy shoes and all of that. I don't do that well. I passed them over to my daughters, Khadija. I'm saying this to tell you, Forest Park, today, we do have a sickle cell crisis in our city. I can attest that at the health fair just several months ago, I had at least 40% of people who worked for this city on that they had the trait or even they had sickle cell. And I said, I must get out to make sure that your supervisor, that those in control understands if you have a crisis, what is going on. And nevertheless, even the ones who was being the lifeguard this summer, they all had traits or they had sickle cell. And that what impacted me to run this race. Now, I have a lot of ways I like to have fun, but I got a real business and a serious size on me. I at home, because this is my home, but I am a lot of business when I'm in the regional. And I'm saying that to say, I get it, but at the end of the day, we together will find this cure and this too shall pass. So I want to bring my granddaughter to stand with me on this last buzzer. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Evans.
You what, between the singing and the good speakers we're having, I should have been first. Maybe I could. It's hard to follow up, but yeah, I did want to mention. I as somebody that's been here for a long time, I can remember when we tried having a two-way conversation and it turned into gripe sessions, and then we had to go back to when we bring things to you, then it's kind of one-sided. But I would really like to see if the city could work out something to where when we do bring something to you, that if we can't have a resolution that night, maybe 24 to 48 hours, somebody could reach out to us with an explanation of what's going on and keep us apprised of, what's going on, and I know that things don't always work very fast, but I don't know why government is less efficient than the private sector. I mean, when you ask for something to be done, a business can step up and get it done right now. And the city's got to have 47 committees to see if we even need a committee to think about doing something, and our future president up here, I believe, is really streamlining things, and I do appreciate that. And I do want to say Ricky Clark for president again. And but and I understand what they're talking about. I had one of my star players for several years. He was absolutely, one of the best players I had. And then all of a sudden he missed a practice and then a game. And I went by his house and his dad told me that he was having problems with sickle cell. And I didn't understand how it affected. I'd heard of it, but didn't understand anything. And he eventually had to drop out of youth sports because it was getting so hard on him and everything. And I do think that we need to step up and do what we can to help. Not only that, but anything we can find like that to, for all of us to step up. And as we are one Forest Park, we all need to get involved in that. And thank y'all very much.
All right, thank you. Mr. Parker?
I'll answer that question, Mr. Evans. It's because they don't want to. I received an email this past Thursday, an email from the city clerk asking me if I still wanted records that I requested over 4 months ago. Yes, I requested those records for a reason. And had I not said anything at the last meeting, then nothing would have come of this. They want to frustrate me and other citizens requesting open records. They want things to take a long time because they just want me and other citizens to give up and to go away. They don't want to be held accountable in any form. They don't want me or other citizens requesting information, requesting open records, or making complaints against the police, which the police themselves review anyway. When I finally went to the police to get a complaint form at the end of last year, I was made to wait for the piece of paper while the officer I requested it from called someone on the phone while watching me. They called me up to the window after 5 minutes or so. They began asking me questions about my complaint. They had the complaint forms in their hands and they just wouldn't give them to me. They kept asking questions. After I had enough, I simply asked for the papers in their hand and received them. Why not just give them to me when I ask? Why not have them ready to give out? A fellow police officer and colleague will be following up on it anyway and will make up excuses for any perceived wrongdoing that occurred. It's because they want to frustrate me and other citizens along every single step of the process of holding them accountable. The investigation took several weeks and there was no end result. Just excuses for why an officer spotlighted my home for 3 nights in a row when no call had been made in the area and for other egregious things the same officer had done, including sitting directly out in front of my home on several occasions, which began only directly after I complained to a captain about this same officer. They excuse all the blatant behavior by this and other officers. They never take accountability for their actions. With the police, if you don't know your rights, and even if you do, they will try and lie and strong arm you into unlawful situations. The same happens with the open records request. The city attorney, by the way of the city clerk, lied to me about what I knew I could request for over a year. I had to send them an email from the First Amendment Clinic of Georgia for them to finally say I could request and receive text messages. To this day, I've never received any of those I requested, and this was over 4 months ago. Whether the police, the government officials, the city attorney, or code enforcement, they never admit wrongdoing, and they lie, frustrate, and stall along each step of the way with a little bit of retaliation sprinkled in. They never admit even the smallest wrongs on their part. Nothing, just frustration and denial every time. City officials ask to talk to me from time to time. If I agree, it's always lip service. They say they want to know what they can do better, but nothing ever changes. The government and police continue to have most of the same issues they've had for years and years. Thank you to all who've listened to me tonight. I'm off to watch the rest of the meeting online per usual. I'd love to watch it all from home, but feel the need to keep speaking on these topics. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McPhail? Mr. Corey? I'm sorry? Okay, Mr. Ibanez?
Ms. Mayor and Council, thank you very much, and everybody. Pretty much have saying a long time ago that I would like to see the people over there because, see, when we speaking to you, you're the one that pays the taxes. I don't know why we do have the same situation. The cameras, when we see the videos, we don't see the videos of the person on the face. Apologize for that. But also we do have problems with the follow-ups. As they say, they have a lot of problems with the business that they have late with the license. I don't know why we got the retaliations with those business and why it takes us so long to do business. That's why we don't progress, you know. We're looking up to have a new chief of police. We need to have more police officers in the cities. But inside the streets, we had homes that have been violated. So situations that we have to understand. Now, also we have people, officers that do speak English, Spanish, apologize. They do speak Spanish, but they understand it. When a person drunk, is drunk. When a person is high, is high. When a person has some problems, mental problems, it has some mental problems. When a person take a medicine and is bumbling, you still push him down, put his knees and kick his ass. Excuse my language. But it's a lot of stuff that we have to understand and teach ourselves. Stop doing it. We see a lot of blue lights and a lot of streets. Thank you, being noticeable. But I want you to understand that we are taxpayers. Also, I ask for lines in the street. A lot of my people, a lot of people, they're driving and actually manage bicycles. $750 a ticket. Come on, guys. Are you serious? $750 tickets, $1,000 tickets. If somebody hit them, we don't follow that. What's going on with that? You know, I don't want to be the bad guy. I've been the bad guy all the time. When I call you consuls, when I call you mayor, it's for a reason. But you was calling me when you was running for a position. And I was picking out the call at 2 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, Doesn't matter what time. And I was helping you. So what is it the reason? Okay, the lawyer, he says, no, they're not allowed to. Okay, thank you. Can we make an appointment? Can we talk to you guys? I need your response. You say, is your working better? Okay. I want to see that. It's in your heart. Make it happen.
Thank you.
Things should yield my time,
No, we don't yield time,
but you don't do that no
sir.
more.
but
So
thank
that's
you.
why we don't have no more.
Mr. Ibanez, thank you.
That's why we don't have no more. hearings.
Chief. I'm going to ask for a motion to adopt tonight's agenda with the addition of item 5, approval of a budget amendment request for $3.2 million. Is there a motion on that item?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Oh, he woke up.
Approval of the minutes. Has everyone had the opportunity to review the minutes from the work session and regular meeting from September 5th? And are there any changes to be recommended? Not hearing any?
Ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to group said minutes together and approve as is?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second,
That
Mayor.
was Councilman Antoine. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. New business. Council approval of a resolution terminating authorization for double time overtime pay for Public Works. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So move.
That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
There is an apartment, I guess it's an apartment complex or a townhouse on Astor Avenue. And it's never cut on the side of the road. So I'm wondering if that's city property. I think I brought it up once before. I'm wondering if that's city property or if that's belongs to the townhomes. So if we can have someone look into that.
Is that like on the corner of Astor and Jonesboro Road?
Well,
It's up on the hill.
Yeah.
It's Townhome.
It's right before you get to, I can't think of the name of this street, but
Jonesboro Road.
no, it's not Jonesboro. The street before Jonesboro Road that you
Okay.
turn on.
Yeah.
It's
Gotcha.
before that. Yeah, in between that on Astor Avenue.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Antoine, questions or
Nah,
comments?
I know what you're talking.
Councilwoman Wells?
No.
Councilman Mears? Councilman Gutierrez?
No.
All right, I'm gonna call for the vote. Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells?
Yes.
And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Item 5, approval of a budget amendment request of $3.2 million. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So move.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was Councilwoman James. Mr. Clark, would you like to add?
No, ma'am, not unless council has additional questions. I don't-
Councilwoman James?
No.
Councilman Antoine? Councilman Gutierrez?
Nope.
Councilwoman Wells?
No.
Councilman Mears? All right, I'll call for the vote. Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells?
Yes.
Yes.
And Councilman Mears?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Closing comments by the governing body. Councilwoman James?
Thank everyone for coming out. Apologize for my tardiness tonight. My senior parent meeting went over a little bit. Want to remind everyone that I host a monthly meeting, ward meeting every third Thursday of the month. It will be at the senior center this Thursday at 5 o'clock. Madam Mayor will be hosting in my stead. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Also want to encourage those to come out on Saturday at 10 a.m. for the homecoming parade. And we have a local vendor, Big Days Cheesecakes, that reached out. They're going to be participating and having some of their delicious cheesecake there at the Kiwanis Stadium. So come on out and enjoy that. Cheesesteak. What did I say? Cheesecake? Big Days, strike that from the record, Madam Clerk. Big Days cheese steaks. See, I lost my chain of thought. Doggone it. Oh, our homecoming court, we did have 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, Mr. and Miss, except for our 9th and 10th. We don't have a Mr. We do have candidates for our homecoming king and queen. So they'll be there in the parade. So come on out and support our students and celebrate with them on this Saturday. I think I'm missing something, but I'll yield right now.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes, good evening to everybody that showed up today, all that's listening online. Thank you for your participation. Shout out to the seniors. Seniors, you're not seniors. You guys are young at heart. You guys are age none but a number. I want to give a shout out to our chief. Chief, thank you for your department. Listening to you is it's always about the people that work for you that you're promoting. So shout out to you, Chief. It's official. I will be having a sickle cell event. I'll be working on that. I hope everybody could come and join and participate on that. Also, October 17th, I want to say, is my block meeting, my block party. Is that it? When is that?
Yes, that Tuesday, second Tuesday.
What date is that? Let's say it's the 17th. I would like
It is the 17th.
Is it? All right, thank you. I'd like everybody to come. You can shoot me an email. I could remind you or just give me a number. I like to see everybody face to face. And besides that, when fall is coming, make sure you guys stay bundled up. And God bless you guys, man. I love you guys.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Always staring at me. I like that.
Councilman Gutierrez? All right, we'll come back. Councilwoman Wells?
I have something, but he wanted to say something. Can I use some of my time for him?
Yes. Come up to the microphone, please.
Guys, I'm new to Atlanta. I lived in New York most of my life, and I worked as a fashion designer for a long time in a very nice company. But my God put it on my heart like a couple of years ago to have a fashion show for to benefit the children with cancer. Every single penny is going to go toward children with cancer. And just by listening to you say that, it just came, I just had to stand up and say this. So I'm going to give you my business card, and my work is magnificent. I think you would really love it. And eventually we will get together and we'll have a magnificent haute couture fashion show. And I think that it will be wonderful. And every single penny will go towards that foundation. Okay. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Councilman Mears?
Yes,
Oh,
I gave him some. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. No, I just wanted to congratulate our sassy seniors. And we getting the music together, I hope, so they can do their thing. Yeah, y'all have to do it. Congratulations. And thank y'all so much for being out in the community and doing what you do with your beautiful selves. We appreciate you and we enjoy you. And I want to say thank you to Mr. Walker, our code enforcement director. I just think like everybody's been talking about these block parties, and like Mr. Clark said, they're getting better and better. More people are coming out. So the community is in the know. They're in the know. And that's what we need. So just thank you so much for all that you do and for being so responsive. I was looking at my report, my Ward 4 report, and I've never seen so many resolve. You know, it's always in progress. Well, I've seen it, but it's just more now, you know, and you can tell that you all are actually working, and I just really appreciate that. And want to say, and Mr. Clark, you'll have to say what the thing was, what Councilman Gutierrez received, but I just want to give him his congratulations because he's doing some amazing things and getting recognized for it. And so
Councilman Gutierrez on Friday was designated as one of the 50 most influential Hispanics in the state of Georgia.
yes, so yes. So I wanted to make sure we recognize that. And Chief Chris, thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you for all that you're doing and the officers, what you all bring to our community. We appreciate you so much. And I didn't know what the light thing, riding around with the lights. I'm like my mom, like, cut the lights off. You're gonna run the light bill up or something. You know, but I think it's catching people's attention. And I just really want to thank you all for all that you do. And to our fire department, just thank you all so much for being in the community and doing something different, you know, giving the men and women of Forest Park and outside of Forest Park, they can see some light, you know, and things that they wouldn't normally do or think about you're putting it out there for them to think about. So thank you so much. That's it. I hope you all have a great night and thanks for coming.
Councilman Mears.
Yes, ma'am. I too want to thank Mr. Walker. I just had my block party last Tuesday, and it was put on with a lot of taste and care. I want you to know everybody enjoyed it. There's people come out in my ward that I had never seen. So I just want to thank you for the effort that you done with your staff and the mayor. She come by with her presence, and I want to thank the city manager for recruiting Mr. Walker, having a lot to do with it. Let's put it that way. And as always, there's Willie back there in the back. He's the oldest person that comes to the meetings. I keep wanting to change it around, but he wins the prize again tonight. So thank you.
Yes, well, wait, Councilwoman James has something else. Oh, Councilman Gutierrez, are you with us?
Oh, he gonna woke up.
You're on mute.
Hey,
Oh, there
everybody.
you go.
Yeah, I can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was traveling, so when I landed, I did the whole journey here to my hotel in Dallas, and I'm already missing Georgia and Forest Park. The state smells a little different, but I'm here for the training and what I need to do, and I'll be back. I hope that I tasked Mears to be the humor relief of the meeting. I hope he lived up to that pressure. Yeah, just thank you to Forest Park. Thank y'all for the highlight of the 50 most influential Latinos. It's my second time winning the award, but I'm always just honored, and it's always just a privilege to go anywhere and represent Forest Park. And you know, I do it because of y'all and always with you all in mind. Just real quick, wanted to highlight we have some events coming up for Hispanic Heritage Month. Our Food Truck Friday on the 6th, we'll have some performances and some music out there at the park. We'll probably be showing a movie as well. So come out and join us at Lee Park. And then on the 7th, we'll have our festival. And yeah, we also have my block party coming up. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you for that initiative. What's it? I don't want to mess up his name. The Marine, the new hire that he's been having. Mr. Walker, yes, of course.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that and excited for that. But thank you, everybody. I'm currently wearing an ankle bracelet because I did get on the bull, but the mayor bullied me to get on the bull, and she made the crowd chant your name. So I don't know if y'all ever know a type of peer pressure, but when somebody starts chanting your name, it's pretty hard. You gotta go out there. But yes, thank you. Shout out to Tanisha, just saving me. My block party will be on September 26th from 5:30 to 7. And then also in partnership with Unidos Dual Language School, they're also going to be having a fall festival at the park. And they'll be out there with the bouncy houses. And their date is, I don't know, I can't see it on the flyer, but if you go to our website, you'll see it. But thank you, everybody. Shout out to Chief Clements. Always love hearing it. Tariq, go ahead and send me that shirt. Give it to Tanisha to put it in my box, and I'll go ahead and get that. And then we also have our tailgate against the Detroit Lions, Dr. Cooper's old team. So maybe he can come out or not. I don't know. But anyway, that's I just don't know a lot of Detroit Lion fans. That's why he's the only one I knew. But yep, that we also got the tailgate. Yeah, nice seeing y'all virtually. Miss you guys, and I'll see y'all next meeting.
Thank you, Councilwoman James.
Yeah, so I wanted to go back and apologize to Miss Franklin. I'm sure I dropped the ball on that. I know that Lookout Drive, she has talked to me about the condition over there and her neighbors. So we're gonna make sure we get on that. So my apologies, Miss Franklin. I don't know if she's still here. But I also want to give a shout out to our police department. On Saturday, I went into Forest Park High School to just do a little work, and our band and our dancers was hosting a fundraiser, fish fly and car wash. And when I went outside, I saw one of our patrol cars being washed. I was like, oh, oh, they came and support, and then one of them was having some food. I said, let me take your picture. He was like, let me put my food down. I was like, no, keep your food so we can show that you're supporting. So thank you to our police department for really stepping up and being visible. And the kids just love just shining that nice car that we have. So thank you for that. And I also want to say that sometimes we have comments that's made, public comments that's made, and the information is not up to date. It's just information that's regurgitated over and over again, and it's about past hurts and past experiences. And you know, a lot of times we don't make comments about it, but I do want to say that I'm confident in the staff that we have. I'm confident in the police department that we have, the new chief that we have, and all of our department heads and our departments and the things that they're doing to impact our community. Want to shout out to our new city clerk for even trying to make sure that the open records are being looked at the way they needed to be looked at. So we are doing what we can to service our community. We're doing what we can to service all the needs that's being requested. There's sometimes, you know, you hear one side and you don't understand the dynamics of all of it. But just know that we're not a government that is not responsive, other than what I did with Miss Franklin. So but that's something that's something else. But anyway, I just wanted to say that and say that we do have confidence in all of our staff and what they're doing to get information to our citizens. And thank you to our attorney, Mr. Williams, for what you do for our city as well. So I just wanted to say that publicly.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wells.
Yes, I had one when you mentioned Mr. Willie Finch. So I don't know if everyone, well, right now, if you don't know, it's a good thing, knew about the Willie Finch Community Garden that's in Ward 4 off of Lee Circle. And so we're going to be planning, working with Public Works and Mr. Wiley. You know, we met the other day because we're going to revamp the community garden, Mr. Finch. And I just feel like you deserve something better than what you've had. The community deserves something better. And so we're going to set a date once we get everything together. And we want the community to come out and be a part of making this garden what it should be, what it needs to be. So we're going to get a gazebo out there. We're going to get some more, Nigel, can you say it, what we're doing? I know we're getting the gazebo. We're going to get some benches out there. So if people just want to go and sit in the park and read and plant and pick, they can do all of that. So we will set that date soon. I just wanted to let you know, Mr. Finch, and let the community know that we are working on the garden and it is going to be better than it has ever been. And he ain't paying attention, he bet they're chewing, but as long as I said it, I just want to let you all know. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Is the music ready? Mike, can you move the podium out the way? Oh wait, they
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Come on, y'all.
Come on, ladies.
We won't let them do the whole song.
Oh. Yeah, she ready.
That way.
Everybody, face everybody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they need to teach me more.
It don't matter if you know oh, Wells. Thank you, ladies, so much. Now, on that note, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Councilwoman Wells, is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Mears. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all so much.
Forest Park lit.